Yeah. So one thing is you don't want to go to this stage until the CEO is fully booked. So if the CEO is not completely booked and their calendar is not completely booked, then the CEO probably needs to just work harder. But typically CEOs that can make it to that $5 to $10 million mark, that's not their problem. They're actually maxing out their calendar to get there. Now, once you get there, there's really two main levers to employ. I talk a lot about leverage. So like one of the biggest things about leverage, when you come to a point of diminishing returns, it's not necessarily, people will think, oh, it's the market, or they'll blame, the customer or whatever. That's not the problem. What you need to do, lever number one needs to be, double your price or increase your price. And if it's not something that you're selling in that fashion, then increase your value, right? Make it harder, increase your standard, make it harder for people to get in, increase the overall value of what you're doing. And when you do that, that's the same thing. It obviously depends on like what you're selling there, right? Sometimes it's just like a market product or service and you need to increase the value. On the other side of the business, if it's more, people related, then it's, or culture related, then it's just like raise the standard, make the barrier of entry harder. It's really not about making it harder. It's just about being more clear about the value that you deliver. Not everybody can get in, is ready for the type of return that we can bring. The second big lever is the whole thing around multiplication, right? You've got to be able to multiply yourself and find things that other people can do. So really what you want to do there is we would take like one workflow at a time. Okay, how do we automate this with someone else, whether it's people, processes, and really AI, but how do we make that more efficient so that we can achieve the same result? Now, here's the thing with scale. Typically with scale, an owner who hasn't been a part of scaling before, they want a process to go from, let's say that if I'm the owner, I can get 100% what I would call 100% productivity in workflow process number one. Okay. Let's just say that's like delivering ads or something like that. Okay. Well then, and when I outsource that or offload that to someone else to achieve scale or multiplication or whatever you want to call it, a lot of people will say, well, I expect that new person to do the same thing that I did as the owner. That is never going to happen. And this is the number one reason why owners can't get out of their own way, is they think that someone else is going to do it the same. Now, a completely clueless, I'm just going to be totally honest, completely clueless entrepreneur is going to want that person to do it better than them. Now, this is the thing. Can that happen? Should that expectation be there? Absolutely, right? But you would be an absolute moron to think that just because you gave it to someone else, just because you were able to get 100% results in that particular workflow, that by handing it to somebody who, let's be honest, has 0.0001% of the upside as you, that all of a sudden they're going to do it the same. And it would be insanity to think that they would just do it better, right? So how do you what are the proper expectations? According to McKinsey and a lot of, top executive research firms, you at a minimum want them to be able to do 80% of the results. If they can get 80% of the results to start, that is a great starting place. That is a great employee. That is a great process or system. And then from there, you can start moving and leveraging towards that. But you have to have realistic expectations. If not, every single time you offload something, you're going to be like, oh my God, it's not as good. And then you're going to be like, well, you think it didn't work one time. So then you're never going to want to do it again. That's why you're going to be broke.